So in the previous presentation, we have seen various bus architectures. So among them, subsystem design with two bus architectures will be dealt in detail here. And using that further, how the 4-bit shifter and all are designed, that will be discussed in this session. So by considering the two bus architectures in the previous session, we have seen that bus A and bus B are used to input the two 4-bit data into ALU as well as the result in order to shift the result and all. Therefore, here the microprocessor that is under consideration. Okay, so will comprise a register array, which is nothing but a place where 4-bit registers or 4-bit numbers are stored. Okay, so the overall design is that of a microprocessor. In that we are discussing about the two bus architecture, and in that we are particularly discussing about how uh, the two bus architectures works with the two 4-bit numbers. Okay, so in that the two 4-bit numbers are stored in the register array, and these numbers are stored either from input output port or from the output of the ALU via a shifter. Okay. So therefore the numbers from the register array can be fed in pairs to the ALU. That is, for example, consider the two numbers have to be added and both the two numbers are represented by 4-bit numbers. Okay. So these numbers are moved from register array into the ALU in pairs. At a time, both are fed. Okay. And after addition or subtraction, the result is shifted out to the register array through the IO port. So therefore, the data connection between the IO port as well as ALU and the shifter. Okay. So they must be in the form of a 4-bit buses now, because this is the system which is going to take two 4-bit numbers, perform arithmetic operation in the ALU, then again the results are stored in the register. So therefore, whatever the IO ports are there or ALU and the shifter, they must be in the form of 4-bit buses. So therefore, now each of these blocks, okay, must be suitably connected to the control lines also. It is not only the data line, so control lines should also be suitably connected with them. So therefore this particular requirement can be shown in the form of a tentative floor plan, and the floor plan for this 2-bit architecture, it is represented as it is. So here you have the bus 1, bus 2, IO, 4-bit registers, ALU and 4-bit shifter. So these many are required to perform the operation. And this particular design which shows the data as well as the control bus, okay, and all the blocks that are involved in the operation, this is known as the floor plan to perform such a addition as well as storage and shifting operation. Now, what are the indications of this particular floor plan now, or what are the uses of this floor plan? So the floor plan, whatever previously it is displayed here, okay, it indicates two main points. First one is a positive, okay, a possible relative arrangement of the blocks. Okay, so the first point it reveals is the arrangement of the blocks, and the second one is the sensible interconnection strategy that is used. Okay, so which is indicated by, again, first by lines showing the data flow, and second by control signal distribution. Okay. So the purpose of drawing the previous floor plan is to indicate these two. First one is the relative disposition of the blocks. Disposition means arrangement of the blocks. So in order to perform a particular ALU operation, what are the blocks involved, how the blocks are arranged. The second one is what is the interconnection strategy that is used. And this interconnection is again revealed by drawing the lines which show the data flow as well as the distribution of the control signals. Now that is, these many informations are given by the tentative floor plan for a 4-bit data path. Okay. So that is about the data path. And then once the overall interconnection strategy is determined, so the next step is to draw the stick diagrams of the entire circuits. Okay. So in the previous, Okay, so how the data flow as well as the control lines as well as block arrangement, everything is decided by the floor plan. After that, for the entire circuit, the stick diagrams can be developed. And also, while defining the interconnection strategy and designing the stick diagrams, certain measures or care has to be taken with respect to all the layers as well as with respect to data paths as well as the control paths. Okay, that is whenever we want to represent that 4-bit data path using the stick diagrams, then what are the rules or what are the care that should be taken while the representation. Okay. So the following points should be considered in that case. So first one is some of the points we also know from the module 2 where we used to draw the NMOS and CMOS stick diagrams. So the rules are metal can cross the polysilicon or diffusion without any significant effect. Okay, so this should be taken care. Metal, it can cross polysilicon or diffusion, so without any significant effect. Then, wherever polysilicon crosses the diffusion, a transistor will be formed. So this includes a second polysilicon layer for processes that have two. Okay, so if any process has two polysilicon, then polysilicon 2, whenever it crosses a diffusion, a transistor will be formed. Then, whenever lines touch on the same level, an interconnection is formed. So that is, these are the rules, okay, so which should be observed while representing the entire design via stick diagrams. Okay. And also simple contacts can be used to join the diffusion or polysilicon to metal. This we have seen in the previous stick diagrams also. Then to join the diffusion and the polysilicon, we must use either a buried contact or the butting contact. Okay, so this buried contact and butting contact rules are there. According to those rules, it should be represented. Then in some processes, second metal layer is available. So this can cross over any other layers. Okay, so and it can be conveniently used for power rails. It is not only metal one, so metal 2 is also available, and this can of course cross other layers also, and according to the design, conveniently it can be used. And then whenever first and second metal layers have to be joined, that should be done over wire using the wire. Then each layer has a particular electrical properties, so which should be considered. That is a very general rule. Okay, so each and every layer in the design has got its own electrical properties, and those properties should be considered into account. Then in case of CMOS layouts, so where both PMOS transistor as well as NMOS transistors are there, the P and N diffusion wires must not directly join to each other. Okay, so this rule we have used even in drawing the CMOS and CMOS stick diagrams also. Okay. They can be neither directly joined nor they may cross either P well or N well boundary. Okay, that's why they have to be separately placed. Whenever CMOS layouts are involved, P devices and N devices they have to be separately. So these are the some of the considerations. Okay, so that should be uh, made used whenever the entire floor plan is represented in the form of the stick diagram. Then, now the another important part of the subsystem design is the design of a shifter. So therefore, here we are going to discuss what is the design of a 4-bit shifter and what are the types of shifters we have and what are the general considerations are there while designing a shifter. So a general purpose n-bit shifter must be able to shift the incoming data up to n minus 1 places, either in a right direction or in the left shift direction. Okay, that is what is its main purpose. Whenever a n-bit data is given, either that particular data or the word has to be either shifted to right side or the left side. So this should be decided first, whether it's a right shifter or the left shifter. The nature of the shift can be specified as, okay, so some specifications can also be given for the nature of the shift. That is whether it should be an end around basis. What is this end around basis? That is whenever the bit is shifted out of one end of the data world, it will be shifted at other end of the data world. Okay, so this is the end around basis is one specification, that is how the data should be shifted. Whenever a bit is out at one end, okay, so it should be shifted in at the other end. Okay, so this is one the shifting criteria that should be decided. So once the nature of the shift is decided, then the implementation part should be considered. That is, while deciding the 4-bit shifter, whether it is a right side shifting or left side shifting, or whether it's a on end around basis. Okay, so these have to be first specified, and once these are specified, then the implementation part should be considered. Then what all we have in the implementation side? Okay. So while designing this VLSI system, the best approach is selected on the basis of exact requirements. So what is the requirement? On that only our selection should be based on. Therefore, in case of this shifter, okay, so what are the requirements? So a shifter must have input from a 4-line parallel data bus. Okay, so first of all, a shifter should have some input data to shift. Okay, so therefore that input should come from a 4-line parallel data bus. Then 4 output lines for the shifted data. Okay, first of all 4 lines for input data, then 4 output lines should be there to output the shifted data. Then there should be a means of transferring the input data to output lines with any shift from 0 to 3 bits inclusive. Okay, so here we have input from 4 line, output, and for output 4 line. Similarly, we should also have some means for transferring the input data to the output lines. Okay, so with any shift from 0 to 3 bits inclusive. So at a time 0 or 3 bits, including 3 bits. So what is that means by which we can transfer the input data to the output line? And also the requirements for this shifter must be met by considering what the best advantage of the technology, like MOS pass transistor and the transmission gate. So it is not only the input output buses at the same time the requirements must also be dependent on the technology, like which MOS pass transistor, transmission gate. Okay, so their selection also. So based on all these parameters, the exact according to the exact requirement, the selection of the best approach has to be done. And also one more important consideration in these designs is the approach adopted. Okay, so whatever the approach we choose, that should be compatible with the strategy that is decided for data and control signal flow. That is, we decide how to make the data flow and how to use this control signal flow. So the flow of data as well as control signals, they should also be compatible with strategy that is previously decided. Okay. So then for the shifter, the strategy that is considered is data to flow horizontally and control signal vertically. Okay. So this is one the strategy that is fixed in case of the shifters. The data should flow horizontally and the control signals should flow vertically. Now, in order to realize all these requirements, okay, so in order to realize all these requirements, the solution is a 4 cross 4 crossbar switch. This is a circuit or the implementation which can realize all the requirements which are stated previously. Okay. So therefore, the implementation of this 4 cross 4 crossbar switch using MOS switches, it is as shown in the following figure. So here previously we have stated so many approaches. That is, we have to select the approach which suits all these requirements. That is, that is for the shifter. Okay, it should have input from a 4-line parallel data bus and also 4 output lines for the shifted data, as well as means for transferring the input data to output line. And also that particular shifter should make use of the MOS transistors also. Okay, and in that shifter, the whatever the data flow and control signal flow is there, that should also match with all the previously used strategy. So therefore, a 4 cross 4 crossbar switch is the circuit which is going to meet all these requirements. Okay? So it uses the MOS switches and its implementation is as shown. So this is the 4 cross 4 crossbar switch. So why it is 4 cross 4 here? It has 4 in lines: input 0, input 1, input 2, input 3, output 0, out 1, out 2, and out 3. That's why it is 4 cross 4 switch. Now these are the MOS transistors, so using which the shifter operation is realized. And here we have they are called as switches. These MOS transistors acting like switches. So these are the control lines. These are the drain and source terminals. Consider a single transistor. This is a drain terminal, source terminal. You can see that one terminal is connected to out horizontally and another terminal is connected to an IN, that is input line, vertically. So therefore, the two terminals of the transistor take two lines. One is input line, other one is output line, and there is one more terminal, that is gate terminal. So at the gate terminal, we have the control signal. So therefore, here some terminology: switch SW means it is switch SW00, that is control signal 00. Why the two suffix 00? Because this relates IN 0 and out 0. So this is a control signal for IN 0, out 0 line. That's why its control signal is named as switch 0. Similarly, for switch 01, it is still in the input 0 line only, but output line is 1. That's why its suffix is 0, 1. Similarly, this is will 0, 2. This is for 0, 3. Now in the next, the switches are, the input line is shifted to 1. Okay. So correspondingly, the control signal is named as 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Similarly, for the next column, it is 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, meaning second input, 0th output line, second input line, first output line, second input line, second output line, second input, and third output. So therefore, similarly for all 16 switches, we have the switching lines for starting from SW00 to SW33. Then this arrangement, whatever the previous arrangement of the 4 cross 4 crossbar switch is there, it is very general. So, and it looks, it is very simple as well as general also, because it shows, as it shows here, as it is 4 cross 4, then 4 lines are there. If it is 8 cross 8, then there would be IN 0 to IN 7 and out 0 to out 7. Okay, the same structure will repeat, only the horizontal, vertical data lines and control lines are going to increase. That's why it is, the arrangement is very general. And also one more important feature of this crossbar switch is it is readily expandable. Okay, in order to accommodate n bit inputs and outputs. As I told you, instead of 4, you can also extend it to 8 cross 8 also. Only thing is there will be 8 input lines, 8 output lines. Correspondingly, there will be 64 switches. That's all. So that's why it can be easily expanded. That is one of the features. Then any input line can be connected to any output line or all output lines. Okay, that depends on which signal is on, which signal is off. So any input line can connect to any output line or all output lines. Then the 16 control signals, okay, which are controlling the gates, they must be provided to drive the crossbar switch, and it seems that this is highly complex and also it is not desirable. Okay, it's an undesirable feature in the crossbar switch, as we can see in the previous. Okay, so 16 different signals have to be connected for all 16 switches. So this makes the design or the operation somewhat complex, and this particular configuration is undesirable. So a small adaptation is applied on that, so that the switch gates can be coupled together. Okay, they are coupled together in groups of four. Okay, some that is a basic version. It's a tradition. It's a basic version of the uh, shifting pattern. So in this, in order to avoid the control lines to the individual transistors, okay, some adaptation is done, in which what is done is the gates can be coupled together in groups of four. That is, four gates are grouped as one. Okay, so such a modification is applied, and when you do that modification, the resulting arrangement is known as a 4 cross 4 barrel shifter. Okay, the earlier one is a crossbar switcher shifter. So now, when such a modification on the control signals is done, the resulting arrangement is known as a barrel shifter, and the barrel shifter looks like this. So this is a 4 cross 4 barrel shifter diagram. So here you can see that there are IN0, IN1, IN2, IN3 input line. Again there is a IN0, IN1, IN2, IN3 and the bold lines, and there is out 0, out 1, out 2, out 3. And important feature here is, see this, the control signal here. Okay, so they are connected in something like a staircase pattern from one gate to other gate. Starting with this SH0. Okay, so this gate, it is connected to this gate. Okay, the next staircase will be connected to third transistor. This gate is connected to fourth transistor. Okay, similarly it is the second transistor SH3. This gate connected to second row third. This is connected to third row fourth. Okay, the last is again connected to the first. So here some grouping of the gate signal system. So therefore we need only four control lines: SH0, SH3, SH2 and SH1 against the previous, which required uh, 4 totally 16 CSS switch 00 to switch 33. So this is what is a modified circuit, which is known as a 4 cross 4 barrel shift. Now what are some of the points out of this barrel shifter? The interbus switches have their gate inputs connected in a staircase pattern in the groups of 4, and that is evident from the previous barrel shifter design. Okay, the interbus, the gate inputs are connected in a staircase fashion in the group of 4. Okay, that's why we have only 4 lines now. Earlier there were 16 lines. Now we have only 4, because 4 gates are grouped into single control line. That's why. There are now 4 shift control inputs. Okay, so which must be mutually exclusive in the active state. Okay, so as in the diagram we see that SH0, SH3 to 1 are the only 4 control signals, and when they are put into operation they are mutually exclusive to each other in the active state. The active state is when it is in operation. That is one of the features of the barrel shifter. And CMOS transmission gates may be used in place of what? Simple pass transistor switches. Okay, earlier our the barrel shift, the crossbar switch. Okay, this is pass transistor configuration. So in place of those pass transistors, CMOS transmission gates can be made used. So these are the main highlights in case of a implementation part of the 4 cross 4 crossbar switch as well as 4 cross 4 barrel switch. So after the shifter design, so we will move on to the other parts also, the subsystems. That part I'll continue.